Today, I'm going to talk to you about the risk of abortion and the effects of murder. There are serious side effects relating to abortion, which are cramping, uterine damage, pelvic pains, heavy bleeding, injuries to your bowel, cervix, damage to the womb, breast cancer, and even worse, death. But those are just the earthly side effects. There are also spiritual side effects because in the Bible it stated, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickednesses in high places." In Exodus, God specifically told us that, "Thou shalt not murder." Well, as I stated earlier, we wrestle against the rulers of darkness in this world. Planned Parenthood is a part of the darkness. Planned Parenthood was created by a woman named Margaret Sanger. She was born on September the 14th, 1879, in Corning, New York, United States. Margaret Sanger's religion was eugenics. Margaret Sanger's religion was eugenics, which is the study of controlling unwanted populations, minorities, and poverty by breeding the human population out because they viewed humans with those characteristics as burdens for America. Eugenics religion was created by Sir Francis Galton. However, eugenics was dishonored and deemed unscientific and racist. What's more alarming about eugenics is the Nazis would use eugenics to justify forced sterilization. However, Margaret Sanger opened up her first abortion clinic in 1916 in a poverty neighborhood of African Americans in Brooklyn, New York. Her clinic was closed down by police 10 days later, and she was sent to prison. Margaret did not give up on her belief. She remained determined until her organization, Birth Control Federation of America, was founded during 1939. This organization later became Planned Parenthood during 1942. The problem doesn't only rely with Planned Parenthood, it also relies with the original belief system of Margaret Sanger and why she created abortion clinics. On December 10, 1939, Margaret wrote a letter to Dr. C.J. Gamble and her later stated, "Dear Dr. Gamble, Miss DeWell was here for Thanksgiving, and I am more than delighted to learn that she was able to get $250,000 from the California Birth Control Organization, plus this $600 from the Federation. That's good. She is a go-getter and a live wire, very tactful and charming as well. I think my pick of her has been justified. Even though she is a little higher priced than the ordinary, she has been working on the article to be written by Mariam D. Ford. They were good enough to send me a rough draft for comments and suggestions. And the important suggestion that I made was not to include Ms. Thorpe's actual name in the article, because of the fact that her sister is married to one of the high spots in the Farm Security Department. And if the enemy started to work on her name, they might make it difficult along the line. Otherwise, I think the article is good. As to my sending suggestions to the Federation, I think it's really unfair for me to do so. I am too far away to have the personal contact of the different reactions, and it only holds up any definite project to have the pros and cons battered about, which makes for more chaos and confusion. There is only one thing that I would like to be in touch with, and that is the Negro Project of the South, is the execution of the details remain in Miss Rose's hands. My suggestions will not be confusing because she knows the way my mind works. Miss Rose, send me a copy of your letter of December 5th, and I note that you doubt it worthwhile to employ a full-time Negro physician. It seems to me, from my experience, where I have been in North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas, that while the colored Negroes have great respect for white doctors, they can get closer to their own members and more or less their cards on the table, which means their ignorance, superstitions, and doubts. They do not do this with the white people. And if we can train the Negro doctor at the clinic, he can go among them with enthusiasm and with knowledge, which I believe will have far-reaching results among the colored people. His work, in my opinion, should be entirely with the Negro profession and the nurses, hospital, social workers, as well as the county's white doctors. His success will depend upon his personality and his training by us. The ministry's work is also important, and also he should be trained perhaps by the Federation as to our ideals and the goals that we hope to reach. We do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. This letter is proof that Margaret Sanger's intentions was to exterminate the African American community by creating abortions. However, in the Bible, God spoke to Moses about this specific issue. God told Moses to tell his people that anyone of Israel or the strangers in Israel who gives any of his children to Molech shall surely be put to death. Myself will set my face against that man and will cut him off from among his people, because he has given one of his children to Molech, to make my sanctuary unclean and to profane my name. And if the people of the land do at all close their eyes to that man when he gives one of his children to Molech, and do not put him to death, then I will set my face against that man and against his clan, and will cut him off from among their people, him and all who worship Molech. This scripture lets us know that murdering children is wrong because it's worshiping a demonic spirit called Molech. This also means that God will not approve of abortion clinics. Now that we know the harmful risks of shedding innocent blood and the origin of abortion clinics, we should understand why abortion ought to be illegal.